Some of the health effects of miraa include euphoria, a feeling of arousal in a man.
Khat or miraa is legal in many countries. In Kenya, miraa is commonly grown in eastern region, and to residents of this area, it is not only grown for cultural reasons but also as an economic activity.
Recently, the United Kingdom, which was the largest importers of miraa from Kenya, decided to ban it in the country, citing it as a drug. But what they did not know is that this act is going to change lives of thousands of Kenyans who depended on miraa proceeds for their livelihoods.
Miraa farmers are bracing themselves for the UK ban on the crop, which takes effect from
in Britain. 60 tons of the stuff imported every week, flown in from Kenya.
The UK was Kenya's last legal miraa market in Europe after Netherlands banned the crop 2 years ago.
A ban which went against the advice of the UK government's own scientists simply makes no sense.
So I'm in a quest to find out what is the economic implication of this ban and how various stakeholders are faring on.
Beneficiaries of the miraa industry include the farmer, transporters, local traders, and the exporters. Meet 52-year-old John Mutua, a miraa farmer. On a normal day, Mutua would have been working on his miraa farm, making sure that he will have a good harvest. But that is not the case anymore, and Mutua is a man under siege.
Sana nilipoanza kuwa a serious farmer, nilikuwa nalenga market ambayo ilikuwa imevuma sana hapa, ambaye tulikuwa tunauzia hawa wanabiashara ambao walikuwa wanapeleka miraa London na Netherlands. In fact, hiyo ndio nilifanya niwe a serious miraa farmer. Kwa vile ilikuwa wakati ilikuwa na pesa kweli. Pesa tele.
Mutua owns 3 acres of land, all of which he has dedicated to miraa farming.
Kwa hii shamba yangu nilikuwa na earn about 80 to 100,000 per month. Lakini kwa sasa hiyo imeteremka sana. Kwa vile sasa wakati huo tulikuwa tunatumia hawa watu wa London in cartons. Sasa hii hawa wa Mogadishu wanatumia ile wanapima kipimo yao inapimwa na gunia. Gunia unakuta ile wanaita gunia, there are small bundles ambazo zinashikanishwa, small bundles 10, hiyo inakuwa 1 bundle. Ukishikanisha zile kubwa 10 sasa hizo kubwa ambazo ziko na 100 small bundles, hiyo inaitwa gunia moja. Wakati huo hata hii ya Mogadishu gunia moja ilikuwa inatoka up to 60,000. Saa hii imeteremka, unakuta unanunuliwa na 20,000. Saa hii tukipenya kwa hii soko ya Garissa na Mogadishu, unajua sasa tuna flood the market. So definitely unajua the principles of marketing. When the supply inaenda juu ya demand, kawaida unajua soko hapo imeharibika. So mapato yetu imeenda chini sana. Na kama mzee kama mimi unasikia sasa niko na about 10 dependents wangu 6 na wale wa mzee ambaye Mungu alimuita 4, napata shida sana. Hapa kwa Mboma sasa kuna mtoto wangu ambaye pia hajafungua shule. They are going back on Monday. In fact, it's becoming an headache kupata sasa hiyo karo yake naye itatoka wapi. So naomba Mungu tu anisaidie kama hii miraa iko iweze kukatwa, nipate hiyo karo nyingine naye ndio hata yeye arudi shule. So we have that problem since the closure of London markets.
Currently, we have about 500,000 miraa farmers in the country, most of whom come from this region, and the United Kingdom was the biggest market for these farmers. Now, they have to find alternatives for survival. To them, miraa is a culture that dates back from the time of their great-grandfathers. It is even taken to churches as tithe and the first fruit.
Majina ni Meme Peter, na mimi ni pastor wa kanisa hii. Members wale tunakaa nao hapa kanisani, kila mtu ako na chamba yake ya miraa, na napouza fungu la 10 ama tukiwa na kazi nyingine ya kanisa, wanatoa pesa kwa fungu la 10 kwa matoleo yale mengine wanaleta kwa kanisa.
Before the UK government banned miraa, They had been warned against that move by their own drug control agency, the Advisory Council of the Misuse of Drugs, ACMD. The body, which is an equal to our own NACADA, cited that there was no evidence that miraa is harmful to health or the wider society. ACMD also noted that UK imports about 2,560 tons of miraa every year, and the UK benefited up to £2.5 million, which is equal to 367 million shillings a year as tax collected. Florence Kajuju, women representative Meru County, was among the Meru leaders who travelled to the UK to dispute the decision by the UK government to have miraa banned, a bid which they lost.
A case was filed by some lawyers that were able to be advised or instructed by our senator, and it was a judicial review process. You have to seek leave in a judicial review process so that the court allows you to be able to file the proceedings in court. The review, initially the application for leave was refused by the court. We appealed, the lawyer appealed against that decision of the court. They have also refused, but we have been speaking to other stakeholders to see if we can file a proceedings in the European Court of Justice. Because when the ban was effected, they did not allow or give an opportunity for the principles of natural justice to be implemented.
It is estimated that miraa generated up to £15 million a year for African economies exporting miraa to the UK. This translates to about 21.9 billion shillings. And here back at home, the industry employed thousands of people who are now uncertain about the future. We speak to Kimathi Munjuri, spokesperson for Nyambene Miraa Farmers Association, who has been very vocal on issues affecting the industry.
Our work is to, first of all, promote miraa locally by ensuring that miraa farming and trading, and also the aspects of transport, are well coordinated from the grassroots up to the markets here. We also try to safeguard miraa. There have been too many attacks on miraa by many institutions and individuals, including international and the local ones, even government agencies who have been trying to bulldoze the closure or undermine miraa in one way or the other. We also had our leaders making a lot of noise, I think a lot of noise about these issues, about the closure, about rallying people to protest against it. But when it happened, nothing has been done to follow up. We don't even know whether the issues that led to the ban are being addressed or whether it can be reviewed or anything at all.
I believe from the engagements that I've had with various legislators in the United Kingdom and various other information that I have, it was a political process. Because now, if their own ACMD said it's not a drug, why did they have to move ahead and have it classified as a drug? So I tend to believe that it was a political process that they engaged in, and I tend to pray and believe that one day, they are going to revert or review that ban.
Netherlands talked about littering. They talked about noise making, gathering in crowds, and then there was a terrorism thing. There was also the issue of our family and how the miraa people are relating with their family welfare. These are fundamental issues which we must, as an industry, try to address. Just like KBL is telling its consumers don't drink and drive, miraa industry also must start putting these things into perspective and presenting the issues to their consumers.
The UK is only the most recent of the countries to ban miraa. We have the Netherlands, we have Germany, we have Finland, we have Sweden, we have the US. Back here in Africa, our neighbors here, Tanzania, Zimbabwe. So there's an issue about the crop. So we need, as Kenyans, without being emotive about this, to look at what it is the country can do, without pointing fingers this direction or that direction.
Many people protested the UK ban on miraa, but this was just for a short period of time. After the dust settled, farmers like Mutua and other stakeholders in the miraa sector were left on their own. And now business has gone down and many lives are being changed negatively.
Miraa exports play a vital role in the economy of Meru County, and the ban by a major market has a huge impact to almost all sectors.
Walituumiza sana, ikipunguliwa tunaweza kwenda mbele sana, kwa maana sisi hatupati pesa siku hizi.
Sasa ile miraa ilipofika ban kule UK, biashara ziko chini kabisa. Hata hatuna, yani kusema kweli haziko sawa vile zilikuwa mbeleni.
Saizi ni wakati wa kupeleka watoto shuleni. Sasa saizi hatuoni kama kuna vile inaendelea, kwa maana hatuna hata ile mapato zaidi, kwa maana ilipungwa huko.
Miraa yetu ndio inalisha watoto, ndio inalisha hata bibi yetu. Ukienda kwa mzee kama huyu, huwezi pata mwanamke bila miraa.
From Maua, Meru, I visit Pumwani Shelter in Eastleigh, Nairobi, where sorting, grading and packing of miraa for export to the UK, but now that does not happen anymore.
Hapa ilikuwa inafungiwa miraa hapa, vijana wakifunga wanapaka kwa carton zinapelekwa airport. Kwa hivyo kazi yote kwa jumla ilikuwa ikipangiwa hapo ndani na kwingine kule juu sehemu kama 4 hivi. Hii kazi ilikuwa inaajiri vijana kama 3,100 hivi. Na kwa sasa wote wako hawana kazi.
So wacha serikali tufikirie, tuanze kutafuta soko sehemu zingine. Wako na watu ambao wanaenda east. Wakienda kuongea maneno ya vile kahawa ya Meru ya Kenya ni nzuri, wacha wawaambie kuna hata mtu mwingine hapa inaitwa muraa, ambaye ni stimulant kama kahawa tu.
Immediately after the ban, we were really looking for China. For quite some time, from 2008, we've known that you can export miraa from Addis to Guangzhou straight, but you cannot export miraa from Nairobi to Guangzhou. If you want to export to Guangzhou, you have to export to from Nairobi to Addis, and then they resource it there. That is frustrating.
Even though many people may view the ban of miraa in UK as a positive thing in discouraging its use, even locally, what they might not be aware of is that the miraa industry is a multi-billion industry that brings in a lot of revenue and employs so many Kenyans, and if it collapses, many lives will be affected.
Way forward, niulize watu wetu na hata viongozi wetu, tushikane, tuongee lugha moja na tuambie serikali i-classify mti wa miraa uwe a cash crop like any other, like coffee, like tea leaves, like cotton, na itambulike na iwe kwa vitabu vya agriculture. Tukienda kwa mtu wa agriculture, hawa ni mtu ambaye anatambua, ndio tuweze hata kuweka sheria, ndio tuweze kufanya hata societies, cooperative societies, tukiwa watu wa miraa.
Serikali angalia vitafanya, kama ningozungumza na wazungu zungumza na wao, sababu hii hao vijana wengi hivi hauwezi sema watajiri wa mali. Hii kazi ndio imemwajiria. Kwa hivyo serikali angalia vitasaidia, kama ni kutetea kitu tetee kama serikali. Siachie wale makonman kujifanya wanatetea miraa na watetei kitu yote.
We bring on board stakeholders, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Water and Ministry of Health, among the miraa farmers, the miraa business people and every other interested person. The government should form a task force that will sit down all these interested parties. Let us look at this crop that has come now into being. Let us see at what structures can we put in place to protect the chain from the farmer to the consumer.
The sky is the limit. Once we are able to repack ourselves, coffee and tea will have a problem finding somewhere to be sold in Kenya. And we see ourselves as the highest foreign exchange earner for this country in very, very short while.
Players in this industry are hoping for a better tomorrow, and their wish is to see a bill that was tabled in Parliament to recognize miraa as a cash crop and not a drug passed. But until then, they hope that the public will stop vilifying the industry, because according to them, if miraa has been used in the right way, it does not have adverse effects.